Deep in the heart of the dangerous black rock forest, a humble farmer and a wise hunter set off on a journey that would change their lives forever. With hidden treasure, dark secrets, and terrifying creatures lurking around every corner, will they find the gold and survive to tell the tale? Let's dive into the story. The farmer, the hunter, and the hidden gold. In the heart of Abedo village, where the sun rose golden over endless fields and thick forests, lived a humble farmer named Kwame. He was a hard-working man, waking before the first rooster crowed and toiling under the scorching sun. His farm, though small, was filled with cassava, yams, and maize, enough to feed his family and trade in the village market. But life was not always kind. The rains had been scarce, and his crops suffered. He often sat under the big irako tree, wiping sweat from his forehead, wondering how he would feed his children. One evening, as he rested after a long day's work, an old hunter named Django arrived at his farm. Django was known for his sharp eyes and bravery. He had gray hair, a scar across his cheek, and a bow slung over his shoulder. "Kwame," Django said in a low voice, "I have something important to tell you." Kwame sat up. "What is it, Django?" The old hunter looked around, making sure no one was listening. Then, in a whisper, he said, "There is gold hidden in the forest." Kwame's heart skipped a beat. "Gold?" he asked, almost afraid to believe it. Django nodded. "Many years ago, before our ancestors built this village, there was a war. A great king, fearing that enemies would steal his treasures, buried his gold deep inside the black rock forest. He planned to return for it, but he never did. The gold remains hidden, waiting for someone brave enough to find it." Kwame's eyes widened. If he could find that gold, his family would never go hungry again. But there was a problem. "The black rock forest," he whispered. "That place is cursed." Everyone in Abedo village feared the forest. Strange cries echoed from the trees at night. Some who entered never returned. Stories of dark shadows, spirits, and wild beasts filled the villagers with fear. Django grinned. "A farmer and a hunter, we make a strong team. I know the ways of the wild, and you are strong. Together, we can find the gold." Kwame hesitated. He was just a simple farmer. But the thought of gold, of changing his family's life, was too tempting. "I'll do it," he said at last. Django clapped his shoulder. "Good. We leave at dawn." The next morning, Kwame and Django packed their supplies, a machete, dried meat, water gourds, and a small lamp. As they walked toward the forest, the villagers stared. "Where are you going?" asked Mama Tund, the village elder. "To cut wood," Kwame lied. Mama Tund frowned. "Beware of the forest. Many who enter do not return." Kwame swallowed hard. "We will be careful." They stepped into black rock forest. The air changed immediately. The trees were so tall that little sunlight passed through. The sound of birds and insects filled the air, but beneath it all, there was an eerie silence, as if the forest was watching. Django led the way, his bow ready. "Keep your eyes open," he whispered. "The gold will not be easy to find." Hours passed as they pushed through thick vines and crossed narrow streams. Suddenly, a low growl made Kwame stop. Django raised a hand. Something is watching us. From the bushes, a black panther emerged. Its green eyes glowed, its tail flicked, ready to pounce. Kwame gripped his machete. His heart pounded. Django whispered, slowly, back away. But the panther lunged. Chapter 4, The Battle with the Beast. Django fired an arrow, it hit the panther's shoulder, but the beast did not stop. It leaped at Kwame, knocking him to the ground. Kwame struggled, pushing against the powerful animal. Django pulled his knife and slashed at the panther's side. The beast yowled and ran into the trees, disappearing into the darkness. Kwame sat up, breathing hard. His shirt was torn and his arm was scratched. Django helped him stand. You fought well, my friend. But we must move faster. There are worse things in this forest. They continued deeper into the forest until they found an old cave carved into a rock. Strange symbols covered the walls. Django studied them. These are the markings of the old king's warriors. Kwame's eyes widened. Does this mean the gold is nearby? Django nodded. Yes. But we must be careful. If the king hid his treasure, he would have set traps. Inside the cave, they found a stone tablet with an engraving. It was a map. The gold lies beyond the river of no return, Django read. Past the three-fingered tree, in the valley of the sleeping giant. Kwame felt a chill. These were places no villager dared to go. But there was no turning back now. By nightfall, they reached the river of no return. The water was deep and dark. We need to cross, Django said. Kwame hesitated. What if something is in the water? As if in answer, a shadow moved beneath the surface. Suddenly, a giant crocodile lunged at them. Kwame and Django jumped back. The crocodile snapped its jaws, missing them by inches. Django quickly tied a rope around an overhanging branch. We climb across. One by one, they swung over the river, narrowly escaping the beast's jaws. Panting, they landed on the other side. That was too close, Kwame gasped. Django grinned. The gold better be worth it. They reached the three-fingered tree, an ancient tree with three thick branches pointing toward the sky. It was the final marker. Beyond it lay the valley of the sleeping giant. The valley was eerie. Strange statues of stone warriors stood around an old temple. The wind howled like a whispering voice. The gold is inside, Django said. But as they approached, the ground trembled. The statues moved. They weren't statues. They were guardians of the treasure. Django pulled his bow. We fight or we run. Kwame gripped his machete. He was no longer just a farmer. He was a warrior now. The stone warriors attacked. Kwame swung his machete, striking one in the leg. It cracked but didn't fall. Django fired arrows, but they barely slowed the creatures down. Then Kwame noticed something. The warriors' eyes glowed red. Their eyes, he shouted. Aim for the eyes. Django fired an arrow directly into a warrior's eye. The creature crumbled into dust. One by one, they fought until the last guardian fell. Breathing hard, they pushed open the temple doors. Inside, piles of gold sparkled in the dim light. We did it, Kwame whispered. Django laughed. Abedo village will never suffer again. They took what they could carry, enough to change their lives, but not too much to draw attention. Then, as the sun rose, they made their way home, rich, victorious, and forever changed. Moral lesson. Bravery and determination lead to success, as seen in how Kwame and Django faced many dangers but never gave up until they found the gold. Teamwork made their journey easier because their combined skills helped them survive the dangers of the forest. Instead of relying on strength alone, they used wisdom and strategy to defeat the stone warriors, proving that thinking before acting leads to better results. Greed, however, can bring disaster. They took only what they needed instead of trying to carry all the gold, avoiding potential traps and unwanted attention. Their journey also showed that courage comes from facing fears, as Kwame, a simple farmer, grew braver and stronger through the challenges he encountered. Respect for the past and traditions is important, as the treasure was hidden for a reason, and understanding history helps in making wise choices. The greatest lesson, however, is that sharing brings true happiness. Instead of keeping the gold for themselves, Kwame and Django used it to improve their village, showing that true success is not just about wealth but about using it to help others. In the end, their story teaches that courage, wisdom, and generosity are far more valuable than gold itself. Finally, did Kwame and Django make the right choice by chasing hidden gold? What would you have done in their place? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this thrilling adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting story. Share this with your friends who love action and mystery.